Welcome to English Podcast. Today we have a conversation with Tata. Tata is a member of our speaking club since March. Hi, Tata.
Hi, Vlad.
Tell me, what does it mean for you to know a language?
Well, first of all, it's a possibility to be able to speak and understand the person who is speaking the same language.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, also for me, it's a opportunity to, for example, read books in original language, or to watch movies in original language, to listen Benedict Cumberbatch original voice. It's something magical.
Okay. How many languages do you know?
Well, let's count. Okay, first it's my Armenian, my native language. Then my first foreign language, Russian. Then English, then French, and also Spanish and Korean, but this is like in process.
So you are able to understand native speakers in four languages?
In 4 languages, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. When did you start studying English?
I started to study English at school, as everyone.
What was your age?
12 years.
Mm-hmm.
But seriously, when I took it because I wanted consciously, probably during my university years.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 18, 19 years old.
Mm-hmm. And how much time did it take to understand native speakers in English?
Probably 4 years, 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years. So it's like you were 20, 21, and you started understanding native speakers when you was 20, 25, 26.
Yes, probably.
What kind of content do you usually consume?
Oh, I consume everything. First of all, I don't do something on purpose. I don't study English because I have to. I just enjoy. I do everything I like. It's just because I need to use English, I consume it. For example, I watch when I was like 10 years ago, when I started to watch all these shows, evening shows, or I don't know, Britain's Got Talent, X Factor, and etc. etc. Of course, I just on first place was like to enjoy, to listen, to watch, and in order to enjoy it, I have to understand it because everything was in English. So, and of course, also I opened myself about 6 years ago the application, I guess it called Coursera. It gives you an opportunity to attend universities all over the world without getting out of your room. For example, I took classes like positive psychology, or speaking English professionally, or my first Korean steps.
Did you have to pay for this
No,
course?
there are 2 options. You can pass this everything, and in the end, if you want some certificate, you need to pay. But if you don't pay, you just get the knowledge.
How many courses have you taken?
Well, positive psychology, speaking English professionally, my first step on Korean, and crisis management, and a couple other courses.
Are they big? Like how much?
No, they are not big. They are like about 10 hours.
10 hours.
Yes, but there are some you attend at university classes. There are like 40-minute lectures. Then you need to pass the exam. You have to pass the test. And yes.
I know. I in 2017 I used to take these courses. There was course learning how to learn.
Yes, I had it also. I didn't pass. Still now I receive mails about this test, learning how to learn.
Can you tell what kind of content you consume on YouTube?
Mostly it's something related to history, geography, and of course psychology.
like later probably 5-10 videos, few videos, but something that you'd like to talk about a little bit more in details.
Last week I passed my week watching Oprah Winfrey's shows, like about purpose, about motivation, and she's really inspiring. I watch her like about 10 years probably. And what else? Also, I watched the interview of Natalie Portman with Yuval Noah Harari. He's a Jewish writer. He wrote this Homo sapiens, yes. Yes, and it was very interesting to watch, and for me it was like I discovered Natalie Portman from another side, because I know she's like an actress, but she has a PhD, really. She did her PhD, and she's really smart.
Does she make like a show, or what?
It's
what
not
was
show. It was some kind of platform. If I'm not mistaken, somewhere. Maybe it was university or meeting or some platform. They were sitting on this platform, like there were guests, people, conversation about half an hour.
What were they talking about?
About everything, about this modern reality, how people, society accept people who are not like who are not supposed to be normal. Yes, and about book, of course, and interesting topics. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about grammar?
Oh, grammar. It's an interesting question. I think it's not very important, but if you have a purpose, an aim to speak English professionally, correct, of course, it's a major part. You need to learn grammar.
But what do you think it's not important?
It's not important when you just want to speak English. It depends on your final goal. If you want just to speak and be understandable, it's not important. So you can just be in surroundings, attending English speaking clubs or watching movies, and you will of course speak English, and you will be able to understand. But if you want to speak correctly, with using correct tenses, correct prepositions, and everything to sound beautiful, of course you need a grammar.
Do you study grammar?
Yes, I study grammar.
How much?
I study grammar actually by teaching grammar. For example, sometimes I teach kids of my friends. I teach my kids. I teach my friends' kids, grammar, and by teaching grammar, I also learn. And it's not only about grammar, but everything. If I want to learn something, for me it's easier to teach someone, to explain.
But before teach, you have to learn it on your own.
Yes, you read, of course, you read. But if you want to this information to stay at your mind, to fix it there, you need to explain and teach. It really
would you recommend some kind of book about grammar, or maybe some courses?
Courses, maybe it's everywhere. I mean, in internet you can drone there and find everything. I cannot recommend any specific book.
Okay, what do you feel when you make a mistake in speech?
Well, of course I feel not comfortable, and I blame myself, and almost every time I notice my mistakes, which I'm able to notice, and right away I just somehow put it in one corner of my mind and in some folder. And as soon as I get a chance after this conversation, I just try to find out to the way how can I fix it, and to train it, to repeat, to in order not to make mistakes.
Okay. Which linguistic skills are more important for you?
Linguistic
speaking, reading, listening, writing.
Probably thinking.
Thinking.
Yes, because when you think English, you just dive into this word English, of English, and everything becomes easier. Whether it's speaking, understanding, etc. But maybe speaking is. Because I get pleasure when I speak English.
Do you get pleasure now?
Yes.
Okay, but if you study, like, let's suppose that you start studying English from the beginning, like, how much time would you invest in, like, speaking, reading, listening, writing, and thinking? Like, let's suppose you have an hour every day. How much time would you think during this hour?
How much I will think? Probably the whole hour.
No. You have to do all those things. Yeah.
Well, I think it doesn't.
Or not all, but you can't think if you don't know anything, right? So you need to read something. You need to listen to something.
If we think that I don't know English and I just started, of course, first of all, it's listening. It's listening.
So how much, like half of the time you will listen?
Yes, probably 50% I will listen. Then I will try to think. And then it's if anything left, writing, grammar, etc.
Okay, on a scale from 1 to 10, where are you in mastering English?
If we are speaking about master English, probably 6.5.
So it's like if your ideal is 10, it's like you may speak like a native speaker, so you need almost half to get through half of the journey.
Yes, of course.
And since you are studying English for like 10 years, seriously, right?
Yeah.
10? Yeah, so it's like maybe you need another 8 years or 7 years to get.
Yes, probably, because as I said, if I don't accept it as something that I have to do, or I study English.
So you just get information.
Yes, I just get information. I enjoy doing what I do. And if I continue like this, of course, it will take 8 or maybe 10 years.
But still, do you have a kind of feeling that it's like you may do better than you're doing right now? And maybe some motivation, which something that forces you to study more because you are not satisfied with what you have.
Yes, of course. If I start to take it seriously, I mean, to get to another level, probably, yes, it will be more efficient, more like it will get me to that 10 point easier and sooner.
What impact did English have on your life?
A huge.
Okay, tell us about it.
Okay, English, first of all, was some kind of key for me, which led me to open the doors, which I thought that is not possible for me. It was mostly the work, because by knowing nothing, I was able to get this job just because I know English. Or, I don't know, people accept like knowing English something like very cool, something that you know English, that's cool, that's something that like
so it makes you kind of superior.
Yes, kind of, yeah.
So job and like this positive feelings.
Yes, positive feelings, and as I mentioned before, reading literature in original way, because it's something like magical when you can read. Of course, I don't understand 100%, but Still now, when I read Shakespeare or John Keats poems,
Do you read Shakespeare?
Yes, I'm trying, but of course I Google because still now Shakespeare is difficult for me, as well as John Keats.
What exactly? Like which place?
Which place or words? For example.
No, I mean plays like tragedies or comedies. Which of them? Yeah, Shakespeare.
Well,
I also read Shakespeare. I'm just curious.
Yes, I've read Romeo and Juliet, Romeo, King's Lear, and I think some short poems, but I don't remember.
So sonnets.
Sonnets, yeah, yes. And actually, about 10 or 12 years ago, when I was like, I found myself John Keats first in Russian. I wanted to learn to read it in English, and it was very difficult. Still now, I read, of course, but it's difficult for me. And maybe this can be for me next motivation to master my English in order to overcome this, to be able to enjoy.
Okay, is there something that you don't like about the language?
I can say that there is something that I don't like, and at the same time I like about learning language, because for example, when I speak English, I'm totally different person, and when I speak Russian, I'm another person. And on the other hand, it's good because, for example, when I speak English, I feel more comfortable. I feel, though I speak Russian or other languages, for example, Armenian, better than English. But when I speak English, I feel more comfortable, more confidence. And but when I speak Russian, I'm totally different person. Like,
why do you think it's that way?
I don't know. Actually, I'm still looking for the answer. Why is it so? Because it's for sure I know Russian better than English, but while speaking English, I become totally different person.
What do you usually speak, or what do you usually think about in English? Like, let's suppose you said you know Russian better than English, and in Russian you are a totally different person, right? But in that way, you have to think about different stuff in English and in Russian. So what's the difference? Like, is there?
Okay, when I speak English, I think in English. When I speak Russian, I think in Armenian, and it makes like, I don't know.
So you translate in?
Yes, I translate.
But is there, again, my question, is there a big difference in the content of your thoughts when you speak English or when you speak Russian? Or when you think in English or in Russian?
Probably, yes, there are different.
For example, you may think in English about the content you consume, and in Russian, probably you may think about your work or about some routine.
Yes, probably.
So when you think in English, you think about something more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Okay. If you had an opportunity to go back in time, what would you tell to your younger self about studying English? Like maybe to change the way you studied from the beginning.
Keep going. You're on the right way. And don't get angry when your neighbor asks you to translate these technical instruments for the washing machine, because it will help you.
Okay. Do you have friends? Do you have some friends who study English with you?
I have friends who speaks English but not study. But yes, I do have friends that speak even better than I am.
Did you meet them after you started studying English or before? And do you have some sort of competition?
Before, I guess, yes. We are always competing. And it's also funny and motivating because there's like the spirit of competition. Yeah, it also helps.
Do you agree with the statement that people who know 2 languages are smarter than people who don't?
Well, I know a person who speaks only 1 language, but is probably smarter than, I don't know.
Everybody,
yes, than the person.
What language does he speak?
He speaks Russian, but yes, he's smarter than like for example, a person who speaks 3 or 4 languages. I think knowing languages more than 2, it can help your brain be more flexible. It can help you to consume information or knowledge easier, more flexible. But competing with others, like who knows language or not, I don't know whether it's correct to like compare these two.
But in general, it's like your opinion.
Yes, of course, knowing more than 2 languages and using it on daily basis, it makes your brain very flexible.
What do you think about the idea of studying yourself by using English?
It's a great idea because when I started to speak English, I discovered myself on a totally different point.
Yes, so you said that you're a different person when you speak English.
Yes, and it's very, for me, I don't know, English for me is like the most comfortable language, which I can enjoy speaking, listening, consuming.
Do you try to make something in English, maybe to write something or to
no?
To produce language. Somehow, I don't know how. Like
no.
Making podcast.
Actually, no. But last month, I guess, I was thinking about writing some kind of, like, not book, but some diary, maybe. Yeah.
You were just thinking, you didn't start it?
No, I didn't start.
You just still thinking. Okay. Do you believe that it's possible to switch one's thinking completely on English, on different language? Like from native language to a different language and forget about your native language? And a possibility. Is that possible or not?
Well, what do you mean by forgetting?
Well, just start, for example, you live, you shouldn't go in a different country, but you may use English, for example, and live in your country and not use your native language.
Yes, it's possible.
And think and forget about language. I mean, you may think in English all the time without thinking in your native language.
Yes, it's possible, because I remember when I moved to Russia, everyone thought that my Russian will be better now because I'm like in Russia, everyone speaks Russian. But in first year, actually, my English got better than Russian, because at that time I had no friends, I was not working. I don't have like Russian community, though I was living in Russia. But I started to think all the time in English on daily basis. When I go to shopping, I think, okay, what do I need? Eggs, butter. Oh yes, and all these dialects I was like keeping in my mind. And also I used to imagine all the time like Ellen DeGeneres hosting me, and all this interview, all the dialogue I was building in my mind.
Do you get tired from thinking in English? Does it feel like, hard? Or it's like as natural as thinking in your native language?
No, of course it's difficult, because sometimes I want, when I get angry and I think in English, some words and expressions, I feel lack of knowledge, vocabulary in order to express fully my emotions.
What would you say to people who want to study English but don't have enough motivation?
Well, first of all, they need to understand why do they need English. Because if they really need English, there should be enough motivation. For example, if you want to travel and feel yourself comfortable while traveling, and you travel a lot, of course, this should be a motivation for you. Or for example, you need English for relationship because your partner speaks English or other language. This also can be. Or you need for your career, for upgrading, and you need just to overlook your motivation.
So first you need to understand why you
why
do
do
that.
you need? Maybe you just don't need to
Mhm.
learn English.
What if you don't need? Like, is that possible to study if you don't need?
If you
If
don't
somebody,
need,
let's
but
suppose-
you want,
Yeah, let's suppose somebody else, like your parents or
Mhm.
your, spouse wants you to study language, and
Mhm.
I don't want. Like, how to motivate yourself if you don't want,
uh,
or if you're just lazy person.
well, I can share my personal experience,
Mhm.
how I overcome procrastination.
Mhm.
I just compliment myself. First of all, I put a short deadline. Like, if I want to do something, in order to do this, to get this, I need to do, for example, to learn 100 words by Saturday. And you will get that pink dress,
Mhm.
for example, or that chocolate.
Mhm.
You will be able. And I just motivate myself by these short deadlines and by complimenting,
Mhm.
by letting me this
It's like
prices.
psychological trick, right?
Yeah.
Behavioral psychology,
Yeah.
like reward, punishment, reward. Did you use punishment, by the way?
Punishment,
Like,
yes.
if you don't
Yes, I do.
accomplish,
I do.
Mhm.
Of course,
What was
punishment
that?
also. For example, you will not go there, for example, or you will go with your friends to that place, but you will not order the steak. You will order a salad.
Mhm.
Yes, and also I can say I can recommend to those who want to learn but not do not have enough motivation. Fake it till you make it.
Mhm.
It really helps because
Just to talk yourself into studying.
talk yourself with mistakes.
Mhm.
Go places where people speak English or listen music, watch movies in English.
Mhm.
Even you don't understand, just
Mhm.
fake it.
Okay. What's your top reasons? 3 reasons for studying English.
First of all, do not think about it. Do not think as you are studying something, because for me, studying it's like something depressive,
Mhm.
something you need to pass the exam or to pass the test. It's always stressful, and people don't like this kind of like motivation. First of all, you need to find what do you like. For example, you like rap music.
Mhm.
Just
No, it's
yeah.
like let's talk about you, like not about
About me.
somebody else. Not
Okay.
you're not trying to give advice
Mhm.
to somebody else. Let's say that like why you study English, like your
Mhm.
3 reasons, most important reasons for you.
Well, first of all, to understand and be understandable to those persons who speak English.
Mhm.
Second of all, as I told, literature, to be able to read. Then movies, to watch
Mhm.
movies in original language. Musicals, for example, Notre Dame de Paris. I listen it in French, and I enjoy it.
Mhm.
And or Hamilton, musical Hamilton, or Cats musical, and etc. Yes.
It's like to consume content, right? To understand
consume.
to understand native
Mhm.
speakers, to get information, and the third one.
And the third one,
Yeah.
oh my god. Third one. To be superior?
Superior,
Superior,
like to
yes, maybe, why not?
just to develop intellectually yourself,
Yes,
right?
yes,
To be smarter.
to be smart,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about our speaking club. Like
Okay.
you're a member of our speaking club since March. Like tell us about your experience during that period of time.
Well, when I discovered this speaking club, I was extremely happy because at work we had some kind of English club, but it just closed. And when I found accidentally on internet looking for some English clubs, and I just found it, and I was shocked because usually English clubs were like, hello, what is your hobby? You like traveling and blah blah blah. And here I came, and you are discussing some serious topics, and you get deeper. And I just found people who are thinking the way I think. Yeah.
So you enjoy it.
Yes, I enjoy it.
Would you recommend some, improvements to the club? Like what would you change if you were a leader of this club? Would you make some changes?
Oh, I need to think, but probably I will organize some kind of survey to ask opinions, maybe.
About topics?
About topics, about the way we pass our English class, these 2 hours. So some survey, online survey, how they imagine, what will they like to implement, or what they like to see or practice during this English speaking club, and after maybe to analyze and find some, I don't know.
Okay, thank you, Tata, for the conversation. I really enjoyed to talk to you.
Thank you too. I also enjoyed.
So, it was an English podcast. If you want to help us to grow, subscribe to our channel, click the like button, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to write comments. See you next time. Bye bye.